I got the title of number one in my hands with this headband. I will rule this league as God Himself. It's unfortunate, boy, that you had to see this. This moment will always haunt you. You will be consumed by hatred for me. Challenge me when you're ready to face a god. Oh, all right, I'm good. Oh, I finally got this number one headband, and I finally am your undisputed champion of this league. So, I just want to let all the newcomers know how this is going to go down. This is going to be a deep dive. We've got the owners meeting coming up on Friday. There's not a whole lot you have to do, not a whole lot of responsibility. Just take some time out of your day. The owners meeting lasts all weekend. So don't fret. Don't act like you got to change your schedule. All you got to do, if you want to make proposals to change the league in a positive way, is get on the group meeting from 8 a.m. Eastern. The propositions, the proposals, you can send them flying. And all day, for about 12 hours or so, I will formulate those proposals into official type bills or ballots to be voted on the ESPN website. So, take some time out of your day on Friday between 8 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern. If you notice anything in the league that needs to be changed, maybe some scores or, I don't know, things that you think that'll make the league better, we'll put them in a proposal. The league will vote. Majority wins. In case of a tie, your champion and your commissioner, his vote counts twice. That's the only little thing. I mean, we got 12 people in the league. If it goes 6-6, something has to be the tiebreaker. And if I have to say, it'll be me. It'll just be me. So, that's if it comes down to a tie. I'll split the vote and, do what I think is best for the league. But this is a democracy with this is probably more like a monarchy since I am your king. But I mean, I'm like a flower. I needed sunlight and water and manure. And that's where you shit people came in. 'Cause you're shit people. But you're my shit people. Love this. I love the fact that I won. There's so many ways to gauge, the best in the league. I mean, we could go by records. We could go by points for. Or, one of my favorite ways is who's made the most money in this league. So, we'll get that deep dive later. But right now, I want to just revel in the fact that we got an owners meeting coming. That past season is over. If you were dog shit, you can turn around and maybe a little flower can sprout so that you can maybe one day hoist a championship. Maybe one day you can come for this number one headband. But I don't even see any contenders. Y'all just tussling over scraps. No contenders to take this bad boy from me. To take this bad boy from me. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, let's move on. I wanna get past this, but I can't stress this enough that this thing is so sexy. But we're gonna move on. Now, what I wanted to do was go by and just do a deep dive on the keeper situation. One of my major proposals each year is to add a keeper. Right now, we're at 3. My goal is to try to get to 8, but I know there'll be some pushback, so I'll only ask for one every year. So I want to add an additional keeper for the next season, where like right now we keep 3. The next season we'd keep 4. You know, so I wanted to go down and list the top 5 players that could possibly be keepers for each team. And this is also you're getting some free advice. The tax season's here, and if you can get your taxes done for free, that's a blessing. Here, I'm going to bless you with some free fantasy advice on who I think each team should keep, and maybe probably should make some moves because their team is hot garbage. Hot garbage. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So, let's go ahead and start from the bottom, and we'll get to the top. So. Flawless Victory ended up 12th place. That's nowhere you want to be. So, Terrence Ricard, here's a little advice for you. You got 5 individuals. A few of those are definitely keepers. You got a promising 2018 season coming at you. You got OBJ coming back from injury. He most likely won't have Eli Manning, but the nigga's still OBJ. And I think you got T.Y. T.Y. is going to probably have Josh McDaniels and Andrew Luck back at 100%. T.Y. might have one of those outstanding 2,000-yard seasons and probably double-digit touchdowns. So look out for that. DeMarco Murray is probably on the back end of being a Titan, but you never know. That guy did win the rushing title one year. He's a former Cowboy. I know how you like those. And Delaney Walker, another Titan. He's top 5 tight end. What can you say? That man's consistent, and Mariota is still struggling to be that down the field throw threat. And Delaney Walker's a hell of a security blanket. And then you got Carlos Hyde. I've always liked Carlos Hyde, and I definitely like Shanahan and his running backs. That zone scheme is very beneficial. With Garoppolo there, I think there won't be so many people stacked in the box. Those are your 5 guys, Flawless Victory. Now, you may have been last in the standings, but you were 8th in points for. That's not bad. You weren't even you weren't even the worst when it comes to scoring points. So there's definitely a silver lining around your doomsday cloud of being last place. But make no mistake, you are the worst. So I appreciate you being the most manurist person for me to get this. Moving on. We got Miami Dice and Jeffrey White. Came in at 4-8 on the year, 11th. Did just enough not to be the most manurist person. Let's look at your 5 guys. You got Cam Newtown. Newtown is definitely, I think, keeper material. He was really testing out that shoulder. I really think McCaffrey and all those other guys are going to make this guy better. Olsen should be healthy, come back nice and good for him. You got Devonta Freeman. That's definitely one of the keepers that I would select. Mike Evans, he had a down year, but Jameis Winston and those guys, they have another shot. Maybe they had the blues when it came to Hard Knocks. I don't know what it was. But I have a feeling Mike Evans can right that ship. Texas boy, Speaking of, well, I don't know. Either way, you got Ingram, the New York Giants tight end. Definitely had a great season. He might be considered keeper material. And you got Devonta Adams. A-Rod's going to come back. And if Jordy Nelson isn't up to speed, Adams will definitely take his bulk share. Looking at it, you might want to make some moves. And, there's an abundance of keepers on my squad. You got some, but if you really want to solidify yourself and maybe come for the crown, you let me know. You let me know what it is you want on your team. So, moving on, we got the newcomer taking over. When I dip, you dip. This is Jason Hurd's squad. New to the league, but not new to me. Known this guy since high school. So, what do I recommend for Jason Hurd to turn this 5-7 donkey of a team. I forget. Miami Dice, you were dang near the worst team when it came to points for. I don't want to forget that. You may be 11th overall, but you were definitely 11th in points for. That definitely shows signs that you need some monsters to try to get you some points. Just a little food for thought. Back to you, Jason Hurd. Your team came in 9th overall when it comes to points for, but 10th in the standings. Boo-boo through and through. So, but your team does have some bright spots. I mean, Alvin Kamara, he's definitely going to be a monster. Got so much shiftiness. And when you talk about shiftiness, your team also has McCaffrey. You got two excellent future backs. These rookies are going to probably be a staple in both of those offenses. So, but after that, I mean, you got Winston, you got Jordy Nelson, and you got Tevin Coleman. You might want to consider bolstering, because you get to keep 3 keepers guaranteed to be on your team. You might want to consider some trades. Could be beneficial for you if you picked up, I don't know, Le'Veon Bell or Todd Gurley. Holla at me. Could you imagine your keepers being Alvin Kamara, McCaffrey, and I don't know, Todd Gurley, the best back in the league? Or you could take the second best back in the league, Le'Veon Bell. 1A and 1B, mind you. I'm willing to give up any one of those. Something to consider, Jay Hurd. Now, we go to complex stat lines. Aaron Hill had a just shitty season coming in at 3-9. It seemed like the stars were misaligned for this man to try to make a push for the championship and the crown. 3-9. That's something to be desired. You want better, obviously, but you came in 4th, top 4 in points for. As your name indicates, it's a complex stat line. You got to be a winner. No matter how many points you score, you got to be a winner in this league, my friend. So, but you do have hope. You're a mover and a shaker. You got AJ Green. You got King Hunt. And I have a feeling time is on his side. He's going to develop into a wonderful player with great instincts, especially under Andy Reid. You also got Adam Thielen. Consider that a keeper if you'd like. You got Jimmy Graham. He's a good tight end. He's definitely molding with Russell Wilson. You got Derrick Henry. We'll see how this goes. We still got the draft. Titans, they definitely run the football because that's about all they can do. So you might want to consider some moves, but I mean, who am I to tell you that? You're the mover and the shaker of the league. So you probably will make some moves. Just be aware, I'm always open to talk shop. Now, we got Lazy Pugs. This man came in at 5-7, and he's 8th. But in points for, motherfucker dead last. Burez. I don't know what to tell you. The team needs some help, but it does have a few bright spots as long as Drew Brees doesn't retire. So you got Brees, you got Michael Thomas. That connection you secured in last year's draft, which can only help you going forward in this year's draft. So now you got a wide receiver quarterback combo. You also got Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller is probably going to face a lot of carries being taken away by Deonta Foreman when he comes back. Foreman showed that he had an incredible burst going through holes and getting to the edge. So, I mean, Miller could be questionable. You got Doug Billy Badass Baldwin. And I'd keep him. I'd keep Baldwin all day, every day, because he's got that tiny man syndrome and it shows up on the field. And you got Jason Witten. I mean, that's top 5 tight end. As long as he doesn't retire, I still feel he will be the most consistent tight end in the league. Maybe not the most explosive, but a consistency that you can kind of count on, especially early in the season. Later, you might want to have a backup to stopgap that. But That's your team in a nutshell. Again, you made some moves last year for the draft. You might want to consider improving your team again this draft. Something to look at. Everybody should be looking at everybody's team, seeing how they can get better, and that's what it's about, trying to get better. Next, we got Down Goes Frazier. Some of these names just need to change. The Dip name, the Frazier name. I might get to A Storm is Brewing. These were some shitty fantasy football names. And if that's what you're going for, trying to get shitty football names, more power to you. But let's just talk about Down Goes Frazier. The name is indicative of somebody that's no longer in the league. Shitty name. So, on his squad, he's got Brady. If he doesn't retire after the Super Bowl win, is a keeper. I would say Brady is a keeper until he's 45. LaShawn McCoy, keeper. Jordan Howard should be a keeper. There's some backfield ambiguity in Chicago, but I'd say Jordan Howard's a keeper. Jarvis Landry, this is where it starts to fall off. Jarvis Landry, great player. Is he a keeper? Not sure. David Carr is going to have John Gruden next year. Is he a keeper? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? So, down goes Frazier. Came in at 7th in the standings. He was 7th overall in points for. He is what he is. He's about middle of the road. He's like that clay manure that keeps all the other manure together so that I can hoist this championship. I appreciate players like Down Goes Frazier causing a bunch of just chaos so that the cream can rise to the top. Now, we go to A Storm is Brewing. We got another new user, Tika. I ain't never met Tika in real life, but I chat with him enough on PlayStation that it feels like I know him. And this guy did fairly well in his fantasy exploits this year. Didn't get to the championship game, but now he's in a league where he thinks he can take it all. Well, I invited him over, and so we're gonna test his mettle. We're gonna see what his fantasy football acumen really is. Now, he inherited the team that got 6th in the standings, but is 5th overall in points for. So I'm pretty sure he didn't inherit a shitty team. Let's take a deep dive. He's got Carson Wentz. He's got Leonard Fournette. He got Alshon Jeffrey. He got a little Dez Bryant in his system and some Keenan Allen. Any one of these guys could qualify as a keeper in this league. Any one of those guys. Some of those guys a little aging, but I have a feeling in 2018 season, all of those guys will be productive. Now, of course, you could also make moves. You could ship guys, try to get guys. This is what this is about. Building the team that you want. Now, I know Tika is pretty good at Call of Duty, Star Wars. He's a pretty decent Madden player. Now let's see if he's a true gamer. Come get the title. Come get the title, son. Now, Storm is Brewing. The name was shitty when it was created. But I have a feeling you're going to turn this into another shitty name. You're just going to disappoint me in all facets of this fantasy football. I'm certain of it. So, now we move on to Bull City. Let's go, Bull City. What are we going to talk? I think Bull City is my fantasy league crush. I love this man's team, but he did come in at 5th. He won the consolation bracket. Congrats, Doug Beeson. I appreciate you not giving up your moxie. And one of my proposals will be that the person that wins the fantasy consolation bracket will get 1st overall pick. And you're the reason why I want to do this, because you should be rewarded for all your hard work and continued service, even though you did not make the playoffs. He may have been 5th in the standings, but the brother was 3rd in points for. Now, let's be honest. He was in my division. He was in Chicago Chalupa's division. This would have been a hard division to get out of because now Chicago Chalupas is probably going to go down as a legend in the Pride League right behind me. But he had suffered a major injury. I mean, David Johnson, you can't really stress this enough. If he had David Johnson, maybe he wouldn't have Melvin Ingram. It's a possibility. Now he's got both. That injury may lead him to hoisting this up, to him having this crown. It's hard to think about. This man has keepers for, well, I wouldn't say for days. There's always room for improvement. David Johnson coming back off IR, and he's going to have some lofty goals. Unfortunately, that team will not have Carson Palmer, but I have a feeling they'll still have Larry Fitzgerald. And he may not be able to get both of them a championship, but he could have Larry. And the entire state of Arizona loves Larry Fitzgerald. If Larry Fitzgerald was a Mexican, I think he would probably be good. Maybe. So, let's look at it. Bull City, David Johnson. Stephon Diggs breaking out of his shell. Melvin Ingram. And he's got Russell Wilson and Gronk. I mean, the guy has 3 keepers easily. But always room for improvement. Maybe he can make some deals, make the team your own is what I say. And that's what I did. But, we'll get to me later. Next we got Chicago Chalupas coming in 4th place. This was definitely, if you go and win the championship, year and then wait a year and then, you still get money and then you win the championship and then you get back to the playoffs. You go to the playoffs 4 straight years. Coming in 4th place is a disappointment. He came in 4th in the standings, but 2nd overall in points for. Let's take a look at this guy's team. He had AB, arguably the best receiver in the league. Arguably, because I think I got the best. But he also had Reed, who was on injured reserve most of the year. Aaron Rodgers, who went out for him. He's got Melvin Gordon. And to round it out, he's got a couple guys that are in the same. I put Golden Tate. I've always liked Golden Tate and his ability to get open, route running. He's kind of like a Doug Billy Baldwin mob, right? You know what I mean? So Golden Tate, I put on that list of his top 5. But he's got some consistent players through and through. Let's let that be on it. But he's going to definitely be in the push. Depending on how the divisions shape out, if he ends up in my division again, motherfucker might have to play me twice again. And then if he actually beats the rest of you guys, he's probably got to play me in the playoffs because we're in the same division. And God knows I'm coming in first, so 1 plays 4. Let's be honest. He's got to try to beat me 4 times. This was just bad luck for him getting in my division. So we're going to try to take the luck element out of it. And then if he's a boss, because I'm a boss, he would be in my division anyway. So he's going to have to earn his way back to this bad boy to try to get this bad boy. So, well, that's neither here nor there. We'll wait for the owners meeting to make these proposals. That's going to be another proposal. And it came from the guy who got 2nd in the league. But I can't wait to propose any of this stuff. Now, let's move on. We got 3rd place. We get to the money, fellas. We're getting to the money. We got 3rd place in the grind is real. 8-4 on the season, coming in 3rd place. But the guy was 6th in points for. This is where it gets hairy. Points for are important, but so is winning. You gotta win these games. He had Julio, Ezekiel Elliott out for 6 games and still was able to make the playoffs. Greg Olsen, a little banged up. He picked up Josh Gordon, and Josh Gordon maybe missed a beat, but he's still better than a lot of people after missing a beat. And he's got Marshawn Lynch. And if Marshawn Lynch is, if he's going to win a title for Oakland, this would be the year with Jay Gruden. And they get in there, and maybe his legs can carry him. He's getting a little aged. I don't know if he's keeper material, but he's getting a little aged. Now, the grind is real. Got 3rd place in face of all that adversity. So next year, he shouldn't have as much adversity. Is probably going to be a major player in the league. Moving on to 2nd place. The guy that lost to me in the championship. But it was just a marvel of a feat to even get to this place. His Classy Strippers came in at 7-5 in the dumpster division. But he's 2nd place overall. That's all that matters. 2nd place, money. Boom. 10th overall in points for. How y'all let a man 10th overall in points for play me in the championship? Manure. That's what y'all are. You're my manure. Thank you. Let's look at this team. He's got Dalvin Cook. That's a rookie that you don't want to fuck with. So that's going to be special. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got these home run hitters. Mixon. That man wants to be Le'Veon Bell 2.0 for them Bengals. You got Brandon Cooks. Home run hitter. And you got Cooper. Amari. Had a pretty dismal season except for like one game where he just blew up. And I do believe Gruden and freaking Carr are going to make Amari Cooper great again. They're going to Donald Trump Amari Cooper. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if he's a keeper, but these are the possibilities for classy strippers. That team's not bad, fellas. Even though it was 10th in overall points for, that's what this next draft is for, is to shore up all those shortcomings. Speaking of shortcomings, and I have none, you're number one, your champion, Disabled Vigilantes. I'll give you a little glimpse inside my head. I was 11-1. The guy that beat me is no longer in the league. There's some Ticka has his teams. I'm not really worried about that guy. You know, Tick has that guy's team that beat me, but he only beat me by like a little less than 6 points. Otherwise, I'd have been undefeated this year, but I got something to shoot for now. Number one in points for, by a lot, fellas. This won't come easy. I'm not giving it up. You're going to have to come take it from me. And I don't see any of y'all with a number 2 headband. I don't see any of y'all with the number 2 stamped across your forehead. Now, bow to this king as I tell you I have 5 logical keepers, but I can only keep 3. We need to have 8 keepers in this league to make this a real GM type atmosphere, you know? And then I'm willing to create contracts. I want to do stuff, you know, we got to draft up proposals, you know, maybe a system, but I kind of like the way the draft is. We'd have to modify a bunch of things, just like a massive overhaul. But I want to do what is best for the league. Right now, I can only keep 3. That should change. Got Deshaun Watson, probably the most electric rookie had he not got injured. But they put a bionic knee in there, and he should be straight for next year. You know, as a Texans fan, I'm happy. As an owner of Deshaun Watson, I'm elated. Because I also have D-Hop. And D-Hop had the most touchdowns for a receiver this year. Probably has the best hands in the league. I mean, the dude's a monster when it comes to just contested catches. I got Le'Veon Bell. Oh, my God. Oh, he might not even be a Steeler next year, and he might get behind an even better offensive line. Oh, my God. Don't let this guy go someplace like, I don't know. But it doesn't matter where he goes. He'd be a beast. The Steelers better try to keep this guy because not only is he their wide receiver 3, he's their halfback 1. I don't care where he goes. Le'Veon Bell's a keeper. We got Todd Gurley. Oh, the McVay effect was brilliant, wasn't it? Jared Goff looking good. Todd Gurley looking great. I got Travis Kelce. Probably, arguably, one of the best. I would say he's probably behind Gronk. But I'll take some Travis Kelce any day of the week, especially with Andy Reid under the coaching headset. And that's my team. 3 of those guys are going to be my keepers. I'm willing to trade any of these guys, really, for the right price. I'm looking for draft capital. But, you know, if you're willing to sacrifice a little draft capital, you can definitely secure your future later. I mean, that's what I did to become great. I took Le'Veon Bell when he had the 3-game suspension. Just a little sacrifice now so that you can be great later. And I'm going to be great for a while, I'd imagine, because those guys are relatively young. So, that's the deep dive in all 12 teams. You're welcome. Now, like I said, 8 a.m. Eastern, Friday, not polls, but proposals go up. That's when I'll start looking at the group me chat and formulating these wacky ideas you have into formal proposals. After 8 p.m. Eastern, proposals will be cut. I'm done listening to them, and then I will formulate them into official ballot bills to be voted on. I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill, and we will vote that into law maybe. I have the bylaws already in GroupMe, but I think I'll send it again for the new guys just in case, and for some of you lazy motherfuckers that don't feel like scrolling up. And I'll also post it in ESPN, the bylaws that are current right now, subject to change because they're working. They're always working. Now, before I go, there is one other thing that might categorize a winner. And I want to acknowledge that, especially with our format changing to a team that gets the highest score will get a $25, payment for high school. If there's a tie, oh boy, I hope there's not a tie, but I guess we would split that down the middle, $12.50. But most likely ties for high score may not occur. So it's always a possibility. Always a possibility. But money earned in this league since 2012. That's always fun for me, and it's only gonna get more fun because right now there's only 11 owners that have made money in this league, and a few of those guys aren't even in the league anymore. So we got guys in this league currently that hasn't made a cent in this league and just takes the glutton of punishment. So let's go down to it. In 2012, William Eckert won this league and made $11.50. That's before we had upped the ante of the entry fee. But he's our very first winner, as this belt would indicate, in 2012. So I don't go into the long history of earnings. I'm gonna just go ahead and do the top 11, just so you know. A. Hernandez has won the most money in this league at $3,300. He's got first place twice, third place once, ended up fourth this year. He had more money. We gotta stop this guy, fellas. I am not your enemy. A. Hernandez has taken your money and ran with it. Next on the list, your champion, number one headband, the guy you're all gunning for unnecessarily, Jay Edwards, coming in at $2,100. Got first last year, and I want to say sometime in 2000 or whatever, I got second to Brent Kessler, who's no longer in the league. Sucked. I should be a two-time champion because I was pretty beast that year too. Next, we got William Eckert coming in at $20.50. This man has made the money 3 separate occasions. Quite impressive. Won the league very first year. It was a little cheaper. That's why he's not in that A. Hernandez category or above me. And he got third one year, and he got second another. So William Eckert, second this year, mind you, comes in third in money. Kessler, no longer with us, has $1,800 earned. He just took the money and ran. He's been in a few leagues, so I guess he's not down by any means, but he probably could add more. So anybody behind Kessler is probably hammered dog shit. Speaking of hammered dog shit, we got M. Hernandez coming in fourth place with $1,500. He won the second year and made $1,500. So since 2012, we've had, if you do the math, he's 6 years, 6. I'm bad at math, obviously. So 6 times $200 is $1,200, I think. So he's still in the positive or whatever, but it's coming up. He's gonna have to spend more money this year, but granted, you'll be able to make money each week in a $25 increment. So more money to be had for everyone whose team is good, mind you. Behind him, he got sixth place. Burez has made a total of $850. I do believe he got third in the first year and second in the second year or something like that. But he's got 850 total, coming in sixth overall. I mean, he may be a bottom feeder last year, but I mean, you got to pay your respects. The man's won $800. So, I mean, obviously he's been in the league for quite some time, so he's probably broken a little bit even, maybe a little less than even. Seventh, we got Terrence Ricard, flood victim. Got second 1 year, made $600. So he's definitely a bottom feeder, but there is some championship glimpses I've seen from this fantasy owner. Aaron Hill got second place also. It's eighth, coming in eighth with 600 as well. Bottom feeder, 3 and 9, but I mean points for the guy was right there in the top four. Nothing to sleep on, and he's got some playoff experience. So Aaron Hill at eighth. We got Hayden. He won second the first year, made $400. No longer in the league, so he was only in 1 year. Anybody behind this motherfucker is super garbage. So, hey, Jeffrey White, you've made $300 for coming in third 1 year. And C. Garcia, $300 for coming in third 1 year. I appreciate it. Y'all have some experience, but you probably should step your game up for a guy that hasn't been in the league since 2012, who's made more money than you. I don't wanna say anything further, but you suck. But anyway, that's one other way to gauge how good you are in this league, and to some advice to the newbies. Even you will be able to make some money, and if you're really, really good, you could pass at least half of these guys this year. If it perfect storm, you make $25 for each week of the regular season, which is 12 weeks. 12 times 25. Ooh, I'm bad at math. Let's see. 12 times 25 equals $300. So that's about as much. If say you 12-0 and you had the highest score every week, and you lost the first game of the playoffs, you would have still made $300, which is as much as Jeffrey White and Chris Garcia. So you can make a lot of money week to week, at least $300. Your entry fee is going to be $225. So that would solve that right there. Now, say you're that good and you win third place. 300 plus 300 is 600. It puts you right up there with Terrence Ricard and Aaron Hill. Say you won all those and you made second. It'd be at 900. And you would be up past Burez, which is a feat since he's been in the league for quite some time. And if you won first, it would be a total of $1,800. Running the gambit would put you right up there with Brent Kessler, who's no longer in the league again. So you could also make a lot of money and be great if you have the gumption, if you have the self-control to do so. This video is super long, and I intended it to be because I wanted to do a postseason, off-season deep dive of each team. And the owners' meeting is coming, and there's going to be some changes. I'm definitely going to propose some changes. Nothing can happen if nobody gets the votes. Nothing could happen. The league could stay the same. I know some of you wants the league to stay the same. But we grow, and we have to grow together. So, majority rules. Make sure you tip your waitress. I'll be here all week. I'll see you guys on the group me chat. So let me go ahead and get these bylaws up here for you clowns so you can review them and actually see what does the league. Another thing you should probably review is the scoring system. Some of you guys have teams that are shitty in regards to our scoring system, so you want to kind of evolve your roster to the scoring system. If you have changes that might include scoring, please add them, and we'll put them up and we'll look at them and see if it's feasible, and then we'll move forward. I gotta sign off. Headband, the weight of number one headband, the weight of the belt. It's getting a little bit too much for me. Only person that probably understands how I feel is A. Hernandez, but I'm coming for you, motherfucker. So, I'ma holla at you boys.